like this. People, if I told you that, okay, gotta get this thing here. If I told you that there, in fact, is a difference between, why isn't this thing moving back? Okay, if I told you there was a difference between females and women, you probably wouldn't understand the narrative and the perspective until I started to break it down. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tell you guys the difference between females and women. A lot of men walk through life and we don't get the respect that we deserve. We don't get the respect as men. We walk through life and women tend to treat us like we are someone that's just interested in having sex with them. Now, the problem that I have with this issue is, as an individual that started the National Fathers League or the League of Dads, I too, when I first got introduced to this arena of helping men, helping fathers understand their legal and constitutional rights, a lot of this information is in my book that I wrote, When Dads Cry. A lot of men themselves didn't understand that the reason why they had a lot of issues with their woman is because, in fact, they didn't have a woman. They were dating a female. So what is the difference between a woman and a female? People, the great Dave Ramsey says, adults do what's right, children do what feels good. Adults do what's right, children do what feels good. What do you think feels good to a very voluptuous woman when she walks down the street? What do you think feels good to her? Knowing that she can get the attention from every car that drives by, knowing that she could walk into any store and some guy would hold the door open for her. Yeah, that would feel good. A female will accept every piece and every stitch of attention from a guy. A female would. A woman wouldn't. A woman walks down the street very voluptuous and she hears, "Oh, God damn, baby, you look good. Thank you." Not, "Oh, baby, you look good." Okay. When a female hears, "Oh, baby, you look good. Thank you," and she stops, smiles, and pauses, and waits for more. A woman says thank you, or may not even say thank you, depending on the scrub that's doing all the gawking, and she keeps it moving. She's dialed in. She's focused. That's the difference between a woman and a female. Once again, the great Dave Ramsey says, adults do what's right, children does what feels good. Okay. What do you think feels good when you're in an argument with a woman? And I want to be clear. An argument is not what you think it is, yelling at each other back and forth. An argument is discussion. What do you think? What do you think? When you converse with a female, you trying to make a point, they don't answer questions. A female deflects. A female gets an attitude. A female starts with the insults just to get the conversation off its axis, just to get the conversation away from them. A woman, you can have a full-blown argument, discussion with her. She will not deflect. She will comprehend everything that's said, and you will end that conversation with some type of resolve. If you understand the difference in what I just said, you will get the fact that there are females and there are women. Now, what happens when you're what happens when, understand this, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tell you guys. Okay. The difference between. Okay. So, now, let us now move on to understanding when a movement end up getting some benefits. And I want to be clear, because I'm not knocking the feminist movement. I'm not knocking the feminist movement at all. But the unfortunates of the feminist movement is females are benefiting from it. And they shouldn't. Yeah. Females are benefiting from it. And they shouldn't. People, it is 2022. 40 years ago, you would not see a lot of things that you see on social media. Miss Shamika Michelle made a posting when she said that there are individuals that are messing up the respect that women should be getting because they are acting unlike a woman. So, but they are females. So we can't say this is where the analogy come from. You are a female specimen, but you're currently acting like, you're not acting like a woman. So if I can give you an example, if I seen a pit bull I'll give you an example of something that actually happened to me. I was living up in the state of Pennsylvania. I had just under 2 acres of property. And what I would do is I would be on my property and I would hit I had my dog, and I would hit the ball with a tennis racket, because a tennis racket will make that ball go a lot further than I could throw it. And my dog would run after it. However, when I lived up north, I lived in the mountains. People, when I went outside, I had my machete on my left hip and my pistol on my right hip. I lived in an area where I knew it was wildlife, and I wasn't the strongest individual. Humanity wasn't the strongest individual on the food chain. So when I went outdoors, I kept myself armed. I want to be clear about something. I had a 9mm. It will not stop a bear. I didn't find out the hard way, but I later found out, oh, so what type of gun you got? I got a 9mm. Well, yeah, so what was you going to kill with that? I said a bear. No. I was told that a bullet from a 9mm will bounce off a bear's head. I was told that. I was like, really? Like, yeah, you're not killing a bear with a 9mm. Nonetheless, all right. So I'm playing with my dog. I hit the tennis racket, and as my dog is darting off after the ball, looking in the air, running, from my left peripherals, I see a pit bull going after my dog. And it was so much space, I pulled out my gun. As I pulled out my gun to shoot the dog, the owner said, "No, she's friendly. No, she's friendly. No." And as I was about to pull the trigger, I stopped and looked at the owner. It was my neighbor, but up where I lived, my neighbor his house was like 500 feet from mine. It wasn't like here in the city where your neighbors are side by side. And I just paused. And the dog was friendly. But why did he yell out the dog was friendly? Why didn't he yell out, "Don't shoot my dog, please"? Why didn't he yell out, "You don't have to do that"? He yelled out, "The dog is friendly," because it's perceived that pit bulls are mean. So that's why he did that. So the unfortunate, his dog was about to get the benefits of the treatment, assumed that his pit bull was ferocious. All right. He was about to get the business. People, that is the exact same perspective in the unfortunate narratives of the feminist movement. The feminist movement uplifted women, and females came along for the ride. Yeah. Yeah. The feminist movement uplifted women, but females came along for the ride. So what does that mean? The feminist movement uplifted women, but females came along for the ride. What does that mean? What that means is a woman who felt as though the fight was for equal pay and equality, got that, and a bunch of other things came with it because of positions, promotion. A lot of promotions came with that. But there were the unfortunates of a lot of jobs that had to put a female in a position that a woman should have been in. So let me now dive into this. A woman educates herself, Okay. With a woman, it starts when they're a teenager. Educates herself right after high school. Extend education. A female wants to party. I'm done with school. I'm grown. At 53 years old myself, I now see the differences, and this is how I came up with this analogy. I now see a broad spectrum, widened gap between women and females. So the job has to promote somebody. And then what happens is women end up not being at the job or whatever, or moving to a better position. And then what happens is, because there's a woman on the job, a female, excuse me, there's a female left on that job. That female gets the position. And that female, when a female gets the position that a woman should have, see, the woman understand that as she was educating herself, she was also given the curriculum of proper posture with that position. When a female is thrust into the position, she's taking stupidity and bull crap along with her to the position. That's what's coming with her. She is not going to take time out. She did not go to school. She did not earn that position. So she is not going to bring a woman's protocol to, because she don't have it. I can give you another example. Cardi B. Cardi B always shoved down your throat. I used to be a stripper. I used to be a stripper. She shoves that down your throat, not realize, and she'll do that on a red carpet event. Cardi B, you look nice today. Yeah, I look. I used to dress like that on the pole. When I was on the pole, she always don't realize that's not the lane for that. But because she is who she is, she didn't go to school. She didn't go to school of the arts. She got her fame in the wrong lane. She didn't obtain her fame in the lane of a woman. She obtained her lane from the perspective and narrative of a female. People, if you can understand this narrative, you can now understand where I'm about to go next. Okay? And okay, hold on. I got to do this. Okay. Okay. Now, okay. People, tomorrow on the Christopher Smith Show, tomorrow on the Christopher Smith Show here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, I'm going to be talking about Dave Chappelle. For those that don't know, Dave Chappelle lived in Yellow Springs, Ohio. It's a small town. According to some people, you can drive through it for 2 minutes and you'll be completely through the town. Well, Dave Chappelle, world-renowned comedian, actor, threatened to shut the town down if they, in fact, offered low-income housing. And I don't blame him. So I'm going to be talking about that here tomorrow on the Blog Talk Radio Network. I hope you're here. If in fact you got something you want to add, you can always call in at 516-418-5736. I'm going to say that again. Call in, add your 2 cents, 516-418-5736. I'm going to be talking about this because I have a very interesting narrative about it, and you wouldn't want to miss it. So tomorrow, we're going to be talking about Dave Chappelle here on the Christopher Smith Show. All right, so just be here. All right. Now, people, I'm trying to figure out how to land this plane. I want to say something. This is the Christopher Smith Show, and I really don't want to offend. So I'm going to come in and say this. Once again, the great Dave Ramsey said, adults do what's right, children do what feels good. I was in a relationship with a woman. She was raised by a single mom. And the unfortunate's when a child is raised by a woman only, studies show this, by the way. I want to say that. They have and take on a lot of feminist traits. But when a woman is taught feminine, it's heightened because they already have feminine. A mother, when she's in a relationship with when a woman is raised by a man and a woman, she takes on testosterone understanding and women's traits. When she's just raised by a single mom, that women trait runs rampant. That woman trait is now stockpiled on with reinforcements of a being and having a woman's trait. So, I was in a relationship with a woman that was more demonic than being a woman. People, when you hear someone explaining something to a judge, they often say, you'll hear this more times than not, Your Honor, emotions ran high. You'll hear that. Emotions ran high. You'll never hear logic runs high. Men are logical. We're testosterone. Women are emotional because they're made up of estrogen. So if you're emotional and all you're taught is to emotional, this is why, as a 53-year-old man, when I see individuals out in the streets acting tough and they be smacking their hands and they be like, man, I'll fuck you up. Man, I'll fuck you up. And I'm like, you're emotional. I've never seen that when I was younger. It was, and to add to that, you didn't see it with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson just stared you down. He had nothing to say. Tough doesn't speak. I seen a video over the weekend where a lion was eating a carcass, and it was eating and eating, and two hyenas came around him, and he just ignored them at first, and then the lion just literally stopped chewing and everything and just looked at the hyenas, and they punked down. Because they knew. People, if I was a bank robber, and somebody went into a bank, and the banks have the petitions, and they went in there and they handed the money through the petition. Their hand got caught in there and broke their hand off. And then the bankers for rights for the consumer sued banks. You got to take down all the petitions. Who do you also think is going to benefit from them being able to take down those security petitions? Who do you think also is going to benefit from that? Bank robbers. Bank robbers. If you fight for something, you got to understand all the other stuff that's going to come with it. Especially in the community you call black, you can search yourself on the internet, on social media, and put in woman crashes, woman runs over man. And you'll see a woman run over a man, and then he get caught off in the bumper of the car. The bumper comes off. He's laying there, head busted open, convulsions. And she then gets out the car, take the bumper and beats him while he's lifeless, and beats him. You can go on social media and see individuals getting into arguments, and one individual get in her car and crash him up, bang him up with every car, not every car, 3 out of 6 cars in the parking lot. And what am I saying? What I'm saying is, as women's rights went up, so did the right for a woman to think that she can act emotional. That went up too. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to a woman and she just was on some old, it's my world, I'm grown. And I say a woman because at the time I was calling them women. People, this analogy of females and women and males and men, I just obtained this perspective about 5 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, about 4 months ago. I just obtained this perspective. If you go listen to any of my 50,000 videos, any of my lectures, anything, I never brought this analogy up then, prior to 4 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. I would say 4. I really started understanding that I was on to something. But you got to understand that. If there's a woman out there that's acting childish, that's going to be enhanced. The right to be you. You've won something. And now something else is enhanced within you. People, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to challenge no one. I would ask you, be the same. I'm not going to challenge anybody. I am 53 years old. I am not going to allow anybody to tell me what they're not. Once you show me who you are not allowed to tell me what you're not. I am going to live my life, and I'm going to love the way I live. I've done nothing wrong. I've been a modest citizen. I haven't been a menace to society. I am, in fact, who I am. I appreciate you guys for listening. Have a good day, y'all.